Welcome to our masterclass. Today, we're going to be discussing how you can drive your revenue with data. Okay, how can analytics help you to boost your sales performance? All right, we have a couple of people on the call, close to 30, and I would love to also, get to know you, understand you also before we jump into our discussion today. Many of us may be coming from maybe a sales background, maybe coming from operations background, HR background, logistics, as the case may be, but one major thing I always mention to people is that no matter the aspect of the business that you play in, it's important that you understand how to analyze your data. All right. But today we're going to be talking about how can you drive revenue using data. Okay. So I'd love to know you and also get to know where you are joining us from today. Okay. I can see a couple of people. Just put in the comment section your name, maybe just Chukwemeka, data analyst joining from Nigeria, or Chukwemeka, business manager joining from Ghana, as the case may be. I just want to get to know people that I have on this call today. I promise it's going to be a very, very interesting discussion. Okay, so let's keep it coming so that we can dive right into the conversation that we have for today. Can't see any comments yet. Can anyone hear me? Can't see any comments yet. Can anyone hear me? If you can hear me, okay. Miracle Data Analysis, fantastic. We have Miracle, there's already a data analyst. It's good to have you on the call, Miracle. We have Mike from Abuja, fantastic. It's good to have you on the call as well, Mike. I have Antonia that didn't put what she does and the location that she's joining us from. It's also good to have you on the call today, Antonia. And also Samson HR from Ibadan. And also Victor, Business Intelligence Analyst, looks to transition to data engineering. Fantastic. It's good to have you on the call, Victor. We have Issa from Zamfara. We have GB, Data Analyst from Ibadan. Fantastic. We have HP. Okay, I want to learn. I'm new. Fantastic, HP. It's good to have you here as well. All right, we'll have a couple of people. We'll have people from data background already. We'll have people from HR background. We'll have Kelechi, a researcher, and also AI trainer from Ebonyi State. We'll have Ibrahim from Niger State as well. So we'll have a couple of people from different aspects of life. But one thing that we all have in common is that we all come in contact with data. All right, so no matter what you are currently doing, I'm sure you always come in contact with data. As a researcher, as an AI trainer, as a data analyst, as a HR professional, you are definitely going to come in contact with data. So today, we're just going to be running through how can you actually drive revenue using data. Because one major mistake I've noticed is that sometimes we make decisions without data. We make decisions from guesswork, all right? But it's not meant to be so. We ought to look at our data and be able to say clearly, this is what happened according to our data, and this is the direction that it can help us get to if we decide to also implement what the data is telling us about. So clearly today we're going to have a run to understanding all these things that I've already mentioned right now. Okay, now who exactly is organizing this event today for us to get to know these things? All right, who exactly are we? So we are Analytics Business, and we are the leading e-learning platform that helps organizations and also individuals to get the skills that they need in the aspect of professional development. So if you're an organization and you're looking to improve the skills that your team has, we are here to also help you to get all those necessary skills. And it's not just in the data ecosystem, it spans across several other skill aspects. It can be in leadership training, it can be in the aspects of soft skills, spoken languages, and several other learning skills that you might desire. So it's not just tech. We're also here to give you soft skills that you want to make your team or to make your people to get to the level that you want them to be. I always mention something that is very important. We'll have technology, we'll have people, and we'll have processes as elements that they're like the core aspect of business. And I always ask the question, which among these people do we think is the most important? Is it the process? Is it the people? Or is it the technology? So let me even hear from the audience that we'll have right here today. People, process, and technology. Which one amongst them is the most important aspect of your business? So let's just keep it dropping right now. Let me see and also be able to understand from your own standpoints. people, process, technology. Which one do we think is the most important aspect of your business? I can't see any comments yet. Are we here? Are we sure we are here? Are we sure that we are here? Okay, I can see 4 comments dropping. Kelechi said technology. Victor mentioned people. Miracle mentioned technology. And Samson mentioned people as well. So we're battling between people and technology, people and technology. All right, so I'm going to give option for anyone that wants to defend their own option to just use the raise hand icon. And I'll call you up instantly to defend what you've just said. A lot of people are saying people, technology, that's the battle right now. So the battle is between the people and the technology. So who wants to defend their own assertion? Just use the raise hand icon and I'm going to simply call you up to speak. Who wants to defend their answer? Just use the raise. Sammy is saying people and tech. Fantastic. Sammy don't want to be in any one. He chose both of them. All right, so quickly, just use the raise hand icon if you want to speak so that I'll call you up. Or nobody wants to defend what they just said. Nobody wants to defend their own answer. Just feel free. I mean, we are all here to learn. All right. Anything that you say is not going to be used against you. We listen and we're not going to judge. We just want to also learn from your own perspective. Please, the question again, iPhone. So iPhone, I asked, we have people, we have process, and we have technology. All right. People, process, and technology. And these are all aspects of our business. They're like the core functions that, the core engine of our businesses. So which one do you think is the most important? Is it the people? Is it the people? Is it the process? Or is it the technology? Okay, I can see one hand from Samson. Samson, I've asked you to unmute. Please go ahead and speak. Let's hear you.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Sam.
I'm Samson. I believe that people play a pivotal role in any organization, given any kind of organization. Behind every technology, there exist humans that control the technology. Technology will not be result-driven if the man did not input the data or did not operate or control those engines. You just have bunch of knowledge that cannot be applicable to life. So people play pivotal roles in organizations in any spheres of life. According to me, that's just what I have to say about it.
All right. Thank you so much for that answer, Samson. So Samson is for the people. Samson said people is very pivotal for anything because even the technology that you want to build, people are going to be behind it. So who wants to go for technology? All right, Ado Gaba, I've asked you to unmute. Please, I hope you are for technology. Please go ahead, Ado. Hi, Ado, I've asked you to unmute. I'm asking you to unmute again. Please go ahead and speak.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, loud and clear now.
Okay. Good evening.
Yeah,
My name is Sado. I'm calling you. Yes, I'm calling you from Kano.
It's good to have you on the call.
Hello, are you hearing me?
Yes, loud and clear. Please go ahead.
Okay. Yes, I'm calling from Kano. What you have said is the process, the process, people, and the technology. Both of them are the system that technology use in producing whatever they want to produce. But as much as my concern is, technology is the most important because it make the process and the human or the people to produce whatever this life is going to have. That is why I choose technology is the most important before people and process. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Ado. So Ado said technology is the most important because they also assist people and the process to, get to anywhere they want to be. So we had two people that spoke to us today. One is for people, one is for technology, and both of you are all correct. Okay, so whether you said the people, or whether you said the process, or whether you said technology, you are all correct. So I'm going to tell us one single story. So when I started my career, I used to be one of the engine rooms when it has to do with process. Because I started from internal control, moved to internal audit, moved to compliance, moved to GRC. So I believed in process so much. And one thing I always tell people is that without these processes that we are putting in place, this thing is not going to function. So I believe that the best system for any business to flow, they must have their processes in order. All right. But as I grew in my career, I started seeing it differently, especially when I became part of the managers. I started seeing, okay, for me to actually achieve this, I need great people to be able to handle all these processes. All right. And when I now joined the tech environment, I started saying, oh, I need technology to actually be able to power all these things that we have. So all of them, whether you choose people or whether you choose process or whether you choose technology, they are all very, very pivotal to the success of your business. Most time, we are always going to answer from our own perspective, right? We are always going to answer to our own part. If you remove the people, process and technology is not going to work. If you remove the process, people and tech is not going to work. If you remove the tech, people and process won't work as well. So the three of them is very, very pivotal for the success of your business. And that is why we here at Analytics, what we measured in is to be able to give the people what they need to be able to succeed in the organization. All right. Whether you're looking at it from the aspect of as a person, I want to train my staff for them to have the understanding of the technology. We are here to guide you towards that direction. Or whether you want to train your people, that want them to understand the processes, we're also here to guide you in that direction. Okay, so that's basically what we do here at Analytics, to empower the people individually or through organizations to make sure that they have all the skills that they need to succeed in the work environment. I'm specialized in diverse courses, whether it's the soft skill aspect, tech skill aspect. We are fully here to guide you through that journey. And who am I that have been speaking to you for the last couple of minutes? My name is Chukwuemeka Ekpa, right? Chukwuemeka Ekpa. And I pride myself to be a tech consultant. I've worked across so many businesses. Like I said earlier, I started my career from the banking sector, from being internal control, internal audit, compliance, then to GRC, and of course, also to strategic consulting. Over the years, I've worked in several aspects of the economy. Presently, I am the CEO of Analytics, where I've helped a lot of people, close to 2,000 individuals personally, to move from the exact career path that they are in to the tech environment and, of course, land their first jobs. All right, I've worked in the financial sector, in the capital markets, hospitality sector, and also the education technology space. Like I said earlier, I've worked as a GRC in the banking sector. I've worked as a head of control in the fintech. I've also worked as a data analyst in the fintech industry and also as a business growth consultant in the hospitality space. And one key thing I will tell all of us is this. In all these roles that I've been able to work over these years, data is constant. All right, data is constant. In fact, when I was working as an internal control officer in the bank, I was not the data analyst of my bank then, but the data skill I had was part of the things that made me to stand out. They used to call me digital control because back in the banking days then, we used to do everything manual or get your booklets manual, but I turned everything to be digital for myself. And people branded me digital control officer. So no matter the role that you're currently playing in your immediate environment, immediate company, you can always be able to utilize data to make yourself to be the best in that role. Okay, so whether you're a customer service person, whether you are HR, whether you are sales, whether you are in marketing, whether you are in tech proper, data is critical. Data is very important for the success of anything that you are going to be doing. And that's why today we're going to be talking about how can you actually use data to drive revenue? How can you use data to improve your sales performance? How can you make all these things happen? by just understanding what the data is telling you. All right, so you can follow me on LinkedIn at Chukwu Emeka Ikpa, or Twitter at Emeka_Highs, or Instagram at Ikpa_Chuks, and we're going to continue this discussion from there. So we're going to jump right into our conversation for today. But before that, please ensure that you fill the attendance form that my colleagues Treasure and Karensola are dropping in the comment section, so they can have access to the slide that we're using for this discussion and also have the recorded version of this conversation. Okay, so maybe at a point, your network might glitch or your phone might ring and someone will call you. So even if you miss anything, you will have access to every discussion that we're going to have. Okay, make sure you fill the attendance form that my colleagues Treasure and Karisala are dropping, so that you have access to the slide and also to the recorded version of this discussion. So for the last 5 years, which you've been in the industry, we've helped over 6,000 people to transition across several roles. All right, data analysts, we have them, full stack data scientists, we also have business analysts, as well as financial analysts, HR analysts, data engineers, Power Platform officers, and also Scrum Masters. So you also can be able to transition into any of these career paths that is also tech related. And it's not just that. When it comes to the skill and the soft skill aspects, we're also fully aware and fully playing in that industry. Do you want to have your CRM fully updated? We can also help you understand that. Do you want to have marketing analyst or customer insight? We're also there. Or is it towards the aspect of leadership, emotional intelligence, and workforce behavior? We're also here to guide your people to understand how to be emotionally intelligent in the office space. Or do you want to do a leadership development for your managers, maybe your first level manager, second level? You are trying to promote your initial team leads to become managers, but you need them to have the skill that they are going to use to succeed. We're also here to guide you. So you can see fully that we play in the soft skill aspects and also in the tech skill aspect. So no matter the direction that you want it, we are here to guide you. And our past participants, some of them work in these amazing places that you can see right on my screen. But like I said earlier, today our focus is how can you be able to utilize data to make important sales decisions, to improve your revenue? How can you make all these things happen? And the next 45 minutes, we're going to be going through a business case study for us to see how data is very, very important to the success of your business. Let's even assume that you are a small business owner and you are selling through Instagram as of today. Maybe you sell shoes or bags, as the case may be. But what data are you collecting for you to know, okay, how do I get to improve my business? You've done business for the last, let's say, 1 year, and yet you still can't be able to say, okay, my highest customer, the highest sales I've made is coming from maybe the northeast part of Nigeria, or it's coming from the southwest or from the southeast, as the case may be. Because it's when you know all these locations or where your customers are coming from, that is when you can be able to say, okay, this is what I need to do to improve my revenue, right? And for today's conversation, we're going to be looking at the customer purchase behavior analysis for Shopalytics, all right? So the way we have analytics, we also have Shopalytics, where we help retail guys to analyze their data, right? So this company called Shopalytics is a firm that is focused on providing data-driven insights for omnichannel and local businesses across Nigeria. Okay, so using customer purchase data collected from nationwide retail partners, Shopalytics helps companies to make smarter marketing, inventory, and expansion decisions. Do you want to build a new office in, let's say, Bayelsa? Do you have the data to back it up? So in this case, we're going to examine a purchase behavior from 1,000 individual transactions across all 36 states collected for a client. The client's name is Wendy Clothes. So Wendy sells clothes on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, and several other social platforms. All right. So the data set includes the customer details, purchase items, gender, sex, data, price, and of course the purchase date. So we're going to see how we can be able to utilize data analytics to tell this business, okay, this is what we need to do for us to get to the points that we want to be at. I hope we are all still following me. If you're ready to jump right into this with me, just drop any comments in the comment section so that I'll be sure that you are still here with me. If you are still here and you are still listening, please drop anything in the comment section so I'll be sure that there are people that are still under the influence of my voice. Okay, I can't see any comments yet. Are you sure you guys are here? Okay, I can see a couple of icons dropping from Israel, from Innocence, from Miracle, Stella, and others. Fantastic. So from this little project that we're going to be looking at, the aim is to derive actionable insights into how do we improve our revenue by targeting customers with lower purchase numbers. Okay, how are we going to improve our revenue by targeting customers with lower purchase numbers? Okay, that's one. Then number two, how are we going to improve our revenue by targeting states with lower purchase numbers? All right, you've been able to gather your data, but how can you get the insights from all these data sets? All right, how can you clearly see what do I need to do to improve my sales? All right, and when I mention sales, this is not just applicable to people in the sales department, whether you are a HR or you are a compliance or legal in your current business, there's always a way that you can be able to utilize data to make better decisions. And then lastly, how do you identify our top selling items? Because we want to also be able to run meta ads. Okay, we've seen that, oh, shoe is the highest thing that we're selling right now. How do we get to know the highest selling items? So we're going to run ads on it and bring in more income to the business. Okay, so this is 3 things that we're going to try to achieve today. But I have one question for all of us right now. If you can see my screen, can you tell me from what you can see right now, the product or the item that is giving this business the highest income? All right, this is Shopalytics customer database. Which item do you think is giving them the highest income from what you can see on my screen? TV. All right. Abdulafiz mentioned television. Fantastic. He said television. Let me hear from others. Which item do you think is giving them the highest? HP said TV. Fantastic. Okay. TV is winning. Let me hear others. TV is winning. Precious said TV as well. Fantastic. Okay. Ganiat mentioned laptop. We have a second response. Ganiat mentioned laptop. Israel also said laptop. Fantastic. So we have conflicting opinion right now. Laptop and TV. From Tammy also laptop. Now, my other question is also, which state do you think they make their highest sales through? Which state do you think they make their highest sales through? Okay, which states do we think they make the highest sales through? Okay, a lot of people are dropping laptop right now. Fantastic. Maybe laptop is the correct one. I mean, you guys will tell me. Someone said Lagos states. Fantastic. Someone said Lagos states. Someone said Lagos states. Let others also drop theirs. Which state do we think we can't say yet? Umi Ochi said he or she can't say yet. HP said Lagos State. Clifford said Lagos State. Emmanuel mentioned Enugu. Now, this is to show you how we do guesswork when we are not actually looking at our data. Right? When you are not actually analyzing your data set properly, this is how you are going to be making guesswork in your business. And guesswork is not part of business. Okay, there has to be a data. There has to be data that is backing your decision. Oh, I've seen that my highest customer base is in the Lagos or is in Kano or is in Enugu, which means I need to open a second branch in that location. There has to be data that is backing this up. All right, and for the purpose of this discussion, please make sure, just follow me, all right? Just follow me through. When this session is done, you're going to get the slide and also the recorded version of this discussion. Once you get it, simply click on this picture and it's going to take you to where this data set is hosted. All right, it's going to take you to the place where this data set is hosted, and then you can easily also be able to practice what you're also going to be doing this afternoon. All right, so let's move on. Now, from what we have on my screen right now, which states do we think we made highest sales from? I hope we all can see my screen clearly. From what we have on my screen right now, which states do we think we made the highest sales from? Can anyone hear me? Okay, Yusuf is saying Plateau. Precious is saying Plateau. Miracle is saying Lagos again. Miracle, you may have to unmute. Israel is saying Plateau. HP is saying Plateau. Everybody is saying Plateau. Now, it is clear to us that Plateau is where we made our highest number of sales. It is no more a guesswork, all right? We can clearly say, okay, we made the highest sales from Plateau. Which product is our top selling item by number of purchase? Which product is our highest top selling item by number of purchase? People can easily see it. Which one is the highest top selling item by virtue of price, okay? Fantastic. Umi said blender. Blender, okay. Laptop, I guess, is the second question I asked. And this is to clearly show you that with data, you outrightly eliminate guesswork. All right, you outrightly eliminate guesswork. And what I have on my screen right now is this something that you can do from on any data set that you have within a space of 15 to 20 minutes, 100%. You can clearly be able to create this thing in 15 to 20 minutes and speak from a place of data. So let's assume the business development officer for this Wendy Clothes now comes and says, oh, hello CEO, we want to expand to Plateau, want to also open a second shop in Plateau because we noticed that they are the highest customers that we have. We made 260 individual purchase from that place for last year, and also made close to 4.8 million in price from Plateau. I'm not going to say that is going to be backed with data. So the business can now comfortably say, oh, no issue, we can go into Plateau State, right? But if the person is now coming to say, oh, we need to go into Lagos State, or we need to open multiple shops in Lagos State, whereas Lagos is not what is giving them their highest revenue, don't you think there's already an issue? Clearly, there is a clear issue there. So as a business owner, as someone that is working in business, as even your individual self, it's important for you to understand, how do I analyze data? How do I bring out insights from data so that I'm not going to be making decisions from a guesswork perspective, so that everything that I'm going to be doing is going to be fully data backed. All right, so we're going to jump into how we can also be able to leverage Google Sheets and Power BI for us to be able to do this, right? Within the next 15 minutes, 20, 30 minutes, we should be done. I mean, if you guys don't draw me back, we should be done with how can we create that initial slide that we saw instead of having our data just the way it was, okay? So all you need is just Google Sheets and Power BI. And why I chose Google Sheets for the purpose of this training is because Google Sheets is entirely free. So far as you have a Google account, you can easily also be able to have access to Google Sheets. Okay, so I'm going to bring out that data set again. This is our Shopanalytics. Let's call it our database, which is just in sheet format. Now, what we saw initially was just 20 sheets, like 20 rows rather. Now, imagine when your customers, it's no more just 20. You are now dealing with up to 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, close to 1,000 customers. How can you look at this and be able to say, oh, my highest selling item is TV or laptop? It's going to be very difficult for you. So it's important for you to have access to how can you analyze this data to make it easier. So I'm going to make this to be open so that anyone that gets access to the slide can easily also get access to this. So it's going to be open. So once you get access to the slide, you can also decide that you want to analyze on your own and be able to build your data. So it's fully open now. A participant, okay, please, let's not request for anything on the screen right now. So it's entirely open for everyone. Why can't I do this? Okay, I think this is it. All right, it's open for anyone with the link. So once you get the slide and click on it, you can have access to, okay, everyone should be a viewer so that you guys don't alter the data set. All right, so let's jump right into how we can make these things happen. So for you to be able to build and convert this to look the way we saw before, there are simple steps that we have to take to do that. All right, there are simple steps that we have to take to do that. First is, there's always what we call, you need to extract that data from a source. Okay, so the first thing you have to do is, remember the data is currently hosted on Google Sheets. So you need to be able to connect to Google Sheets and bring it to Power BI, and so they can also be able to perform those analyses. So the first is to connect to that data source and then be able to retrieve it to the place you want to perform your analysis through. The next one is you need to be able to transform that data. All right. So after you've been able to extract data, there are some times that it's not going to be clean. The format might be scattered. Maybe in the dates format, you are seeing that the date is some are written in words, while some are written in numbers. So it's definitely going to scatter your data. So there is high need. The attendance, okay. Treasurer Counselor, please, you may want to look at the attendance form. Victor said it's not opening, right? So once you've been able to transform that data, you want to perform any cleaning, it is fully in transformation that you have to perform that activity. And the last one is you are going to be loading that clean data that you've transformed into a model within our Power BI. So let's jump into our Power BI and be able to do this immediately. All right, so let's jump into Power BI and be able to do this with me. Okay, my Power BI is not even up yet. All right, so I'm going to bring my Power BI up so that we can do all this together. All right, so all I ask from you is just watch closely and see how you also can also be able to get into this. All right, it's a simple skill that each person that is working in any environment is expected that you're going to need this. All right, so first, once you open your Power BI, if it's just a fresh Power BI, all you have to do is just click on blank reports. All right. Okay, just click on blank reports because you're trying to create something new. So once you've clicked on it, that was what I did. Okay, I guess that's the people that have an issue with attendance form. All right, I'm sure Treasurer and Counselor are going to solve that. Please link to the data set. Okay, I guess let me send the link right now so that some of us can also. No, let me finish first, please, so that you don't go and alter my data set. All right. But let me give it to you because I know I just gave everyone only viewer access. So this is the link to the data set. All right. And once you get the slide, simply click on the picture and it's going to take you to where you need to also get it from. So I've dropped the link in the comment section. All right. That is the link, Noah. So once you get into the link, all right, once you have Power BI open also and you are right here, remember, first thing is for you to extract data, all right? And for you to extract this data from the Google Sheet that is linked to, all you have to do is to connect to Google Sheets. So Power BI allows you to connect to several data sets, source rather, right? It allows you to connect to several data source. But for the virtue of this, we are going to be using the Google Sheet link. Okay, so remember, the reason why I'm using Google Sheet is because it's easily available to everyone. And all you have to do is simply have a Google account and you have access to it. So once you open your Power BI and you've come to this point, what you have to now do is to click on this place that you can see on my screen right now. All right, click on this place, this drop down arrow that you can see right here. Once you click on it, this is your get for you to be able to connect to multiple data sets. You can see different data sources that you can connect to: Excel, Power BI, seismic models, data flow, data vars, SQL Server, and so on and so forth. So if you click on more, you're even going to see other data source that you can actually get to link with. All right, so I don't know whether it's my link that you guys are saying is not opening. Just watch what I'm doing so that I don't also miss the point. Or if it's attendance link, definitely my colleagues are going to solve it in the next few minutes. All right, remember, you have different data sources that you can connect to, which means if you even want to connect to a lake house, a warehouses, you can also connect to them. SQL database, you can connect to it. Anywhere your table is, Power BI can always get to it. But for this, let's just search for Google Sheet because that is what we are making use of. So once you type it, you're going to see your Google BigQuery. You're going to see Google BigQuery for Microsoft Entra ID and also your Google Analytics. But right here, you have your Google Sheets. So once you click on Google Sheets, we can now click on Connect. All right. Once you click on Google Sheets, we click on Connect. Now it's asking us to put the link to the Google Sheet. So all you have to do at this point is to copy the link to the Google Sheet and simply paste it here, right? So once I've pasted it, I don't know if we're still following. Once I've pasted it, I can now just click on OK, right? It's going to go to that Google Sheet and connect to it, right? It's going to go to that Google Sheet and connect to it. Now it's trying to connect, right? You can see that it is trying to get to that point. Right now, it's showing me this is what we've seen. So once I click on it, I can easily see that it has brought out that same table that we have in our Google Sheet into Power BI. So that table that we have in the Google Sheet is now here. It is not opening. I tried several copy and paste on Chrome. Okay, I hope this is the attendance from, all right. So once it is here, remember the steps I mentioned earlier: extraction, transformation, and then loading. Because many mistake that people make is that once they've extracted it to this point, because load is first, you have the temptation of you clicking on load. But that is not what you're expected to do, because you don't know whether this data is clean, you don't know whether it is well arranged. So you need to take it to Power Query and be able to edit and transform and clean it up. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is to click on Transform Data. So once we click on Transform Data, it's now going to take us to our Power Query. Okay, it's going to take us to our Power Query. So right now you can see clearly the Power BI is intelligent. It's intelligent, okay? It is very, very intelligent. If there is an error in any of this column, this green is not going to be complete bar. It's not going to be a complete bar. So once you are scrolling to the left, you're clearly seeing that all of them have that green completed. So clearly, it means that this data is clean. But in the event that is not clean, if in the event that there are things that is not well arranged there, that is where it is now necessary for you to now do some cleaning. Okay, so let's look at the columns that we have. You can see we have the name of customer, we have the state, we have item purchased, we have gender, we have sex, we have number of purchases, we have price, which is an NGN, and we have date of purchase. Now, this date of purchase, if we want to also be able to utilize this data for it to make sense to us, clearly you can see that it's number one is showing as name of customer. Number one is showing as name of customer. But we don't want name of customer to be part of our data set. We want name of customer should be the heading of this sheet. Okay, it should be the heading of that exact column rather. So what you have to do is come to this place that you can see while you're on the home tab. Come here that you can see use first row as header. Okay, use first row as header. So once you click this down arrow, can select whether you want to use first row as header or whether you want to use header as first row. But for this explanation, we want to use our first row as our header because we want to be able to have name of customer to be the header of that exact column. So we click on it, and once you do it, you can see that there is a new step that is applied here on your applied steps. So clearly you can see that name of customer is now title for that exact column. So if you click here, you can see that you expect the text because names are written in text, so it's okay. State is in text, so it's okay. Laptop bag is in text, everything is in text, everything is okay. Now our price is in numbers as it should, and also our date is in date format. But remember, for us to represent what happened over the course of the year, we need to be able to have this date represented maybe in months or in quarter. So I want to be able to tell my stakeholders, this is what happened in Q1, this is what happened in Q2, and this is what happened in Q3, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new column here to represent the exact quarter that this sale was made. Okay, so once I highlight the column I want to create something from, I can now go to this tab called Add Column. Right? If I come to this tab called Add Column, I'll simply go to this date option here and then select quarter. And of course, quarter of year. So once I do it, you can see that it has created a new column for me called quarter. And then inside it, Number 1, of course, represents first quarter of the year. 2 represents second quarter, 3 third quarter, and of course 4 the fourth quarter. I don't know if we are all still following me to this very moment. Just listen and try to understand what I am currently explaining. Okay, when you get this data set, you can also be able to perform this on your own. All right, we can see, okay, Samsung, yes, GB, yes. Okay, fantastic. Now, once you've done this, we can clearly see that our data is clean now. So come back to your home column, home tab rather, and then click on close and apply. So once you click on close and apply, it's now going to bring you to this exact page for you to now start doing your visuals. Now, this is a simple data set. I don't want us to create a lot of DAX formulas for this. So it's something that you can just do plug and play and be able to get what you have to do. Okay? Now, in some cases, all right, in most cases, the best practice is for you to use what we call star schema. Okay, so that you have your separate fact table and separate dimension table. All right, so what I'm trying to explain now is in instances where you're working in a big organization, they may not be using just that Google Sheet as their database. They might have a place that they have maybe customer's name, a different place that they have what we call transaction information, and maybe a place that they have order information. Right? So in this context, we have 3 different tables. So it's important for you to understand that there is possibilities that you're not going to be working with just a single data set, which we are going to use today. But this is the simplest one, which is why I'm trying to make us understand it first. But in most cases, the best practice is for you to utilize your star schema, and then you have your fact table, your dimension table, and of course, you now be able to identify your primary key and also your foreign key. But in the context of this training we are doing today, that single dashboard is enough for us to create what we want to do. Right? So now we've been able to create that data. Now, when it comes to this data, under this data here, can clearly see raw data, and that's the title of that Excel sheet that we have on our Google Sheets, raw data. Now, we can start building our visual. So remember what I said that we need to do? We need to improve revenue by understanding the top customers that we have, understanding the top states that we have, understanding the top selling items that we also have. So just watch me closely. First thing I want to do is, because this thing is meant for a business called Wendy Clothing, I want to be able to add that aspect here also. So I just simply click on this text box to bring out this pane for me. So I can simply type in Wendy clothes rather. Wendy clothes. Okay, so remember, this is because this is the client that we are working for. So this is Wendy clothes. It is very tiny, so I want it to also be a little bit big. So I've selected it. Let me choose the best text format I want, which is Tahoma, and then let me increase it so that people can at least see what we are doing. And this is now Wendy clothes. So all I can do is let me bring it all the way down here and all the way to this place also. So I have my Wendy clothes, and can decide to bring this up so they can be close by. So let me also bolden it and of course put it in the middle. All right, so this is clearly showing you what you need. I hope we are still following to this moment. So this is showing you that we have our Wendy clothes right here, and that's the title of the people that we are working for. Okay, thank you for giving me that thumbs up, Samson. I guess I'll be using it to gauge when I'm dropping off. So once I've clicked on it, I don't want the background to be white. I don't want the background to be white. So let me do something that is going to change that Wendy clothes background from being white, so that I can at least add a little bit of texture to it. So you can see that once you are there, you can see different aspects that is existing in this format text board segments. Right? If you click under properties, you can see that you can decide to change things here also. When you get it, you can decide to play around it. You can see the title, you can decide to play around it also. You can see the effects, you can decide to play around it. Now, under the effects, this is where you can see the color of the background. Now, I want mine to be a little bit dark. but not so dark. All right, so I've chosen this color, and then I want to also be able to add shadow to it so that there will be an effect that is also displaying. So I've added shadow to it as well. Are we still here? Can anyone hear me? Can anyone hear me? Am I breaking? Please, if anyone can hear me, please say something so that I'll be sure that there are people listening to what I'm saying.
We can hear you.
Can anyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, sorry guys, I think I was thrown out for a moment, but I'm back now. Okay, I hope we can hear me loud and clear now. Hope we all can hear me loud and clear now. All right, my screen is going to come up again and we're going to fire up immediately. All right, can we hear me? Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much for that. I had a little bit of something that threw me off this call entirely. All right, so I'm going to bring up my slide again so that we all can fire on immediately. All right, I'm going to bring up my slide. But I hope we were following to the very moment that I was thrown off. I hope we were all following to the very moment, which is where I had to do my background for that sheet and also add a little bit of shadow to also what we have. So I'm going to bring up my screen again so that we can continue. All right, sorry for that little bit of glitch. All right, so we are back here again. Right, my screen should be up. Now we've been able to create Wendy clothes and we've also been able to add a little bit of shadow to it. Now, first thing I want us to do is we need to understand what's the total revenue that this business actually made entirely. And when you're trying to add KPI, you want to add KPI, you want to add cards to your sheet to actually show a little bit of write-up from what happened in the business. All you have to do is come to these places. These are all visuals that you can select from. But the best aspect is for you to look at this card because we're trying to create just a card. So let me select on this card. Once I click on card, it's now showing me this exact thing that we have right here. So all I have to do while this is still here is just come to this data point and carry this price. Just left click and drag price into this data aspect. So I left clicked and dragged price into this data aspect. Now it's showing me that the total revenue that we made is simply 67 million. Now, this is what we've been able to come up with immediately by just click and drag. So it's showing me 67 million. Now, this is not fully arranged. I want us to make it at least be a little bit visually appealing. So all you have to do is while your visual is selected, come to this pane that you call Format Your Visual. Right? Once you click on Format Your Visual, you can see this visual here. You can see the general. So this allows you to play with your visual and make it the way you want it to be. So you can easily be selecting every single one of them and decide how you want it to be. All right? You can simply select them and decide how you want it to be. Now, layout, this is call out value. You can decide how you want it to be as well. For instance, if you decide to turn on your value, it's going to also affect what is showing on your Power BI. I clicked on turn off value and the 67 million is gone. But if I put it on, 67 million will be back again. All right, 67 million will be back again. Okay, I hope we are still following me. Now, remember we're trying to make this visual to be appealing. I'm going to move a little bit faster. So when you come down to this, your general, all you have to now do is, I want to turn on my title. I want to turn on the title page so that I can actually be able to give it title. All right, I can come to these properties to decide how and if I want to remove anything from there. All right, I've decided I want to turn on my title and then come to effects. And then I've decided that the background should be white, no issue. I want to add a shadow to this also. So I've added a shadow to it and then moved down a little bit, and then you can also see other things that you can play around. Now, I want my data to be in the middle. I want that 67 million and everything there to be in the middle, right? So what do I have to do? You can see if you come to your callout values, simply come here and select this center. Once you select a center, it's going to bring it to center for you, all right? It's going to bring it to center for you. So all these places allows you to play around this. It allows you to play around this any way that you want. So under title, I can go to my title now, and I want to give you the title called Total Revenue. Okay, that's the name I want to give it, which is Total Revenue. Because it is the total revenue that we made. I want it to also be bold, and I also want it to be centralized. So I've given it total revenue and I've bolded it. Now I want to remove that sum of price that is there, which is from the data that we collected, right? It is from the raw data that we collected. That's the name of that exact place, price. Okay, but I want to remove that sum of data. So all you simply have to do is also scroll down and look for where you can turn it off. All right, go through visual and look for where you can turn it off. You can see this label here. If I turn it off, it is gone. All right, if I turn it off, it is gone. So now we have our revenue showing 67 million only. Okay, you can see clearly. Now I want to add another visual that is going to show what's the total number of purchases that we made. So I simply come here and click on card again. If I click on card, this time around, I want it to fit into that small space that we have right there. So I carry it and put here. And also bring this one up and put there also. So the same way that you did the first one, I'll simply now come here and drag my number of purchase down to the field. So once I drag it down here, you can see that it's telling me that the total number of purchase that our business had for this last year is simply 3,379 purchases. That is what happened. From all the items that we are selling, we sold 3,379 items. So instead of going through the process that you went here, you can decide that you want to click on this visual and copy the same format that you had there. So if I click on this format painter and click right here, you see every single thing, the shadow has been replicated and this number has been bold in too. Now for me to add this title too, I need to click on the visual myself, then come to the format visual. Okay, can also check it out. If you scroll down, you're going to see every single thing that also exists there. Category label, I want to turn it off because I want to give it my own title that I want it to bear. So if I come to general, all I have to do now is my title is on, I can simply go to title and call it our total number of purchase. Okay, this is total number of purchase. So this is the total number of purchase that we also had for this year. So clearly you can see our total number of purchase. If you're not speaking to your stakeholders, you can say, oh, we had 3,379 total number of purchase with total revenue of 67 million. Now, I want to also be able to add a slicer that can easily say, okay, this is what happened in Q1, this is what happened in Q2, this is what happened in Q3, this is what happened in Q4, and so on and so forth. So I want to be able to speak from the quarterly basis. So all I have to do right now is if you come here, you can also see this slicer, button slicer that exists here. Once I click on button slicer, I want to be able to have it right here. So if I put it here, which is my button slicer, and go back and click on the quarter that I've created. Remember, everything is under this your raw data. Can carry this quarter and also add it to these values here. Okay, so once I carry the quarter and drag it and drop into these values, you can see it has created this sum of quarter, which is not what I'm looking for. All right, so I made a mistake. This is the visual I'm looking for, which is this one. Come back to this point, carry quarter and drag to this place. All right, I've done it now. So you can see the way it's showing me 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if I click on 1 now, if I click on 1, can see that it's now showing me that in Q1 alone, we made 29 million and then total sales of 1457. If I click on Q2, it's also going to show me that in Q2 we made 25 million, total purchase of 1307. Because you can see that it's a is a visual, is a visualization, is a dashboard that is very, very interactive. And if you are speaking to your stakeholders, you want to be able to have an interactive dashboard. Oh, in Q1, we made a total sale of 29 million, with total purchase of 1,456. And in Q2, we made a total revenue of 25 million, with total purchase of 1,307. So you can speak while altering these slides are here. Now, remember, I can also make your slider to be beautiful, to be visually appealing. So all you have to do also is to click on it and simply come to your format pane. Now I'm going to move a little bit faster. Now on slider setting, you can look at it and see what you want to change. Shape, I want my shape not to be rectangular. I want it to be rounded rectangle, okay? Because it's a little bit finer. Layout, do I want to make any changes here? Yes. I want my columns, all of them should be in one lane. So I'm going to increase it to 4. Now that I've increased it to 4, you can see that all 4 of them can now be under 1. So do I have anything I want to change here? You can keep scrolling down to see if you want to make any changes to your own. All right. If you want to make any changes to your own, you can always do it there. All right. So I'm not making any more changes in the colored value. You can look at the images in case you want to make changes to images, and even input an image there, can always do it. Now, next thing I want to do is under general. Once I come to general, I want my title, it is on. So I want it to be quarterly slicer, so that anyone that sees it will understand that it is a slicer that I can use to select anything you want to do. That is what I want to do here. And under effect 2, I want to have a shadow also. I want it to have a shadow attached to it. Now, these things are not just for you to, beautify this exact page. There is nothing really here. It's just for you to make it visually appealing. If you come back to your visual, you can even still see things that can make changes to. You can see things that can even make changes to. For instance, I want to make it to at least have one segment that is clear. I want to make it to be a little bit clearer. All right, so let me go to my effects again, background, visual border, no. Data format, everything is okay. Header icon, do I want anything? No. 2 tips, nothing, or text, nothing. Okay, I don't have any changes I want to do here. Under visual, I can also go through it. Slicer settings. Is there any changes I want to do? No. Shape, we've already done that. Is there anything I want to do? No. So like that, you can easily see where every single action that you want to perform, it is always arranged for you here. They're all arranged for you here. So you can decide how you want your own to look. Even if you want to put a background there, you can decide that you also want to add a background there as well. So we are done with our quarterly slicer. So right now we have total revenue, total number of purchase, and also our quarter slicer. Now we want to start building our visual. First thing we want to know is, what's the top customers that made our purchase? All right, what's the customers that made top purchase from what we are trying to analyze? So the same way, you have to choose the visual that is going to communicate what you want to do. Now remember, we have over 1,000 rows here. All right, so what you have to do is just simply, for this first one, let's use what we call a stacked bar chart. All right, a stacked bar chart. So I've selected it and I'm bringing it here. So I don't want it to cover my shadow that I've added here. So I'm going to drop it a little bit here and drag it down to be a little bit big. All right, now I need to add things to this visual. I need to add things to this chart that I've created. So remember, I want to create top 5 customers by purchase, customer and purchase. So what you have to do is come to this name of customer, drag it and put it in your y-axis. All right, drag it and put in your y-axis. And then remember, next one is number of purchase, because we want to know the person that bought items from us a lot. So I come here again and click on number of purchase and drag it down to x-axis. All right, so clearly you can easily see this is what happened. Tolu, Okoro, Ifeoma, and so on and so forth. Our visual is already coming out. All right, but there's a lot of data existing here. And one key thing I always mention to people is less is more. You don't need to have all these, we have sum of numbers here, we have name of customer here, we have this one on top. There's a lot of title. And if you scroll down, you notice that it's giving us a slider for us to scroll down and see all of them. But for this discussion, we want to show our stakeholders that we just want to bring out maybe the top 7 customers. So how do you show just the top 7 customers? Simply come to this name of customer and click on to expand this filter card. Okay, once you click on this expand filter card, it's showing you basic filtering. Now click on it and go to top N. Once you select top N, next thing you need to do is now put 7 here. And then how do you want to filter this exact chart? I want to filter it by number of purchase again, which means the top 7 people that made purchase. Once I added it there and click on apply filter, it has now made this thing to just be only 7 customers that we're going to have here. Just 7. Now let's make this visual to be a little bit appealing. Once you click on the visual also, click on this visual format, right? Y-axis, what do I really need on this Y-axis? The values, do I need it? Yes, I need those customers' name there. So which means I'm going to leave it on. But do I need that title there, which is showing name of customer? No, I do not. Because once I see the name, I already know what it stands for. All right, once I see the name, I already know what it stands for. Now, we've made it to have only name of customer there. Same thing on your X-axis. Once you click on X-axis, you want to also be able to values there. Of course, you need your values. Okay, values. Do we need that values really? No, we don't need that value. So you can turn off the value and also turn off your title. So we have something that is looking like this. All right, we have something that is looking like this. So all you have to do now is, how do you want to represent this other aspect that is remaining? Our title is already on. So once you click on title, just change the text name to top 7 customers by purchase. So it's now showing us our top 7 customers by purchase. So anyone that looks at this will know that, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and these are our top 7 customers by purchase. Now, if you look at this now, you're not going to know, okay, how many items did Tolu buy? How many items did Ifeoma buy? How many items did Amaka buy? So you need to turn on your data label. All right, so once you click on the visual also, it comes to this format visual and simply go scroll down. You can see data labels here. Simply turn it on. Now, once you turn it on, you can see total number of purchase. Now it's showing 16, 13, 11, and so on and so forth. But this is not correct. And why it's not correct is because we left our slicer on Q4. But once you turn it off from being in Q4, it's now showing us the true picture of our top 7 customers. So you can see the true picture of what happened throughout the year. Tolu bought 153 times, Musa bought 120 times, Amaka bought 108 times, and so on and so forth. Okay, but most times it's also important as a data analyst to communicate your data with the brand color. Now, I want my color to also show the brand color that we have here at Analytics Business. Okay, so you need to understand your color code. So if I come to this bar here and scroll, it's showing me blue. Now, I've looked at this entire color. None of them is actually my brand color, but I know the color code of my brand. So all I have to do is simply go to more colors and then decide to type that color code myself. So our brand color code is simply 6742FA. So once I've done that, you can see that this has simply changed to this color. So I can decide I also want to add effects, which is, I love shadows a lot. So I don't like using borders. I love using shadows because shadows also create borders without you knowing. So with that, you can simply look at this and see, if I ask anyone on this call now, who is our top customer by purchase? Can we answer, who is our top customer by purchase? Let me even be sure that we are all here. From what you are seeing right now, who is our top customer by purchase? So fantastic. Who is our third performing customer by purchase? Can easily also see that it is Amaka Okoro. So once you have this, you have a bargaining chip to speak to your stakeholders. All right. And this same thing is also applicable when you speak from a quarterly perspective. You can speak that, okay, in Q1, our top performing customer was Musa Yusuf. All right. And Tolu Okoro was number 2. Okay, 56 and 55. In Q2, you can see that Tolu Okoro now overtook him and became our top performing customer. What happened in Q3? Your speaking language is not detected. Okay. since someone is trying to do a lot of settings behind, in Q3, you can see that Adaise Yusuf was now our highest buying customer. And also in Q4, the top customer now became Tolu Okolo. So you can always speak from a place of, for instance, if you are in Q4 analyzing Q3, you can say, okay, what happened in Q3 that made Tolu not to buy from us? He bought only 14 times. He's no more our top customer. Did he meet a new supplier? Did he meet a new person that was giving him stuff? So this way you can easily be able to track how your actions are affecting the business. Okay, you can easily be able to track how what the customers are doing, how is it affecting the overall health of the business. Now we've shown the top 7 customers by purchase. I want us to also show the bottom 7 by purchase. Okay, remember, we want to also improve our revenue. So we want to have which people are not actually buying from us a lot. Now let's open up these panes again: filter pane, visual pane, data pane. All right. Now, easily, once you've created your first slicer or first visual, I can always click on it, copy and paste, which is Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Once I click on it, I can easily come here and drop this now. How did you make the slicer? Oh, Noah, how did I make the slicer? Okay, quick one, Noah. Once you come to this visual, you see this button slicer here. Can you see this button slicer, the number 3 from the bottom visual here? Once you click on button slicer, it's showing me this now, okay? And if I want to make it to have, what do I want this button slicer to have? I want it to just have quarter of the year. So I've just dragged my quarter and put that place that instead of name of customer, which is this. So I'll just drag quarter and put it right here. So you can see that it's showing me these things again. So it's now from all those formatting that can now format it to look the way this slicer up here is looking. All right, Tolu, so it might take a while if you want me to repeat the entire process again, and we still have a lot of grounds to capture. So what I want you to do is make sure you fill the attendance form. If you fill the attendance form, we'll send this slide to you and also the recorded version. So you can play it slower and also be able to replicate everything that happened. Okay, that's the easiest way for you to follow us right now. All right, so I want to make this thing to also be bigger a little bit. Okay, then, okay. So once you've created first one, for you to do the other one, you can easily be able to copy and paste. So I've copied this visual, I've dropped it down here. What I need to do now is I want to change it to be in vertical bar charts now. Okay, let it be in column bar charts. And what I want to represent is now our bottom 7. Remember, the first one I had was our top 7. Now I want to represent our bottom 7. So all I have to do also is just click on that same visual and come to this place that can easily collapse this filter card. Once you click on it, you can see this top, show items top, and change this top to bottom. Once I've done that singular act and click on apply filter, it has changed entirely. So who are our bottom 7 customers? So easily you can see that, okay, this Blessing bought 5 times, Sarah bought 5 times, these guys bought 4 times, and Sarah Yusuf and Adaise Nwankwo all bought once. So if you're not trying to improve revenue and know which customers are not actually patronizing us, you can easily start communicating with Sarah. Oh, Sarah, is there any reason why you only bought once from us? Is there any challenge that you're having? And so on and so forth. Okay, so you've known your top 7 customer. You've also seen your bottom 7. Now you can easily come here and also edit that title so that it will reflect bottom 7 customer. So instead of having top here, just simply change it to bottom 7 customer. All right, so by simply doing that, we have this visual existing here. Now, next thing we want to also create is we want to know our top selling item by purchase. We want to know our top selling item by purchase. Now, easily I can decide that let's use this line chart to represent it. Okay, so let's use the line chart to represent our top selling items by purchase. So let me put this here. I love my shadow to show, so I'm going to put this here. Now, for the top selling items, the same thing, the same procedure. Once you've selected this slicer, which is this, the visual, which is this line chart, all I have to now do is remember the name, top selling item by purchase. So two things are happening here, items and purchased. So I can come to my x-axis and put items purchased, let it be on x-axis, all right? And then number of purchase should be on my y-axis. So you can see easily, it's now showing me items purchased and number of times they were also purchased. So the same thing you have to also do, you have to now format it to also be visually appealing. Remember what I said, less is more. Okay, if you look at this, is very, very, it's communicating a lot of things and it's going to be confusing. So once I click on it and come to this filter, click on x-axis. What exactly do I need on this x-axis? If you click on values, of course, you need to know the names of those items. So you need it. But if you scroll down, do I need that title there? No. So I can remove the title. All right, I can remove that title. Let me make it bold so that it can also be seen. All right, I'm done with this value. Okay, I can now go to my y-axis also. The same procedure that we did on that first one. For y-axis, do I need the values? No, because I'm still going to add the data label. Do I need the title? No. Okay, so that same procedure, I'm able to make this to be more visually appealing. Right, I can go to my lines because I have a brand color rather. My line, I can change the color also to that same visual, my company brand, which is simply color code 6742FA. So once I've used that, it's also showing in this exact brand color. All right, so I have this line chart, but it's still confusing. Okay, can people easily know the labels? No. So I can click on data labels and turn it on also. But there's a lot of information that is happening there. So I want to just know maybe the top 5 items that we sold by virtue of purchase, top 5 items. So what I can do is simply come back to this same pane that we have here, click to expand the card. That same process, basic filtering, change it to top N. This time around, I just want to know the top 5 items that we sold by purchase. So I can simply come back to this here and click number of purchase and drag it to this value here and simply click on apply filter. So you can see that it has changed from those a lot of numbers to just having the top 5 items that we sold. So easily, now I can be able to communicate from a better perspective. Oh, the highest number of items that we sold is blender, we sold 238, and then power bank, we sold 225. For chargers, we sold this, so on and so forth, we sold so and so. And that is simply it. All right, what I have to do now is just to beautify it. The same thing, come to effects. I want to add a shadow also. I've added shadow, and then I want my title to be total top 5 items by purchase. Okay, top 5 items by purchase. So easily can also see that this is now clearly communicating what we want it to have. Top 5 items by purchase, we are seeing what happened, and so on and so forth. So now you can see what happened from the item perspective. The highest number of movers and shakers that we have in this business is blender, power bank, charger, washing machine, and also mouse by purchase, which means the number we sold, they were higher. Now, let me now show you which top items do we also have by virtue of price. Okay, by virtue of price, which ones gave us the highest items? So the same thing, but this time around, I want to represent it using a different visual. I want to use what we call the donut chart. All right, once I put my donut chart here, all I have to now do, if I come here and click on donut chart, it will bring out this for me. I'll now come back here and decide, remember, items and price, that is what is playing now. So we can bring items purchased from here. The form is not loaded, okay. Item purchase, click on it and bring it down to this legend. Okay, what value do we want to add, which is simply price? Now you can see that a lot of things are happening here. There's a lot of actions showing here. It will be hard for you to also know which and what is also going on. So let's also make it to be top 5 items by price. So it's sent in top N, and then here we'll change it to 5. And this value, what we're now putting here is price. Drag price and put inside your value and simply click on apply filter. So clearly you can see which items gave us the top. What's the top item by virtue of price that we sold from the visual that we can all see now? Let me know people that are actually still with me here. What's the top item by virtue of price? Laptop. Thank you, Khadija. Let me hear from others. So I'll be sure that it's not only Khadija that is here. Khadija said laptop. All right. Let me see from others. Okay. Victor said laptop. Fantastic. Victor said laptop. And that is correct. Laptop is the highest by virtue of price. But by virtue of number, by virtue of purchase, what's the top item by purchase? What's the top item by purchase? Blender. HP said, Kaja said blender. Fantastic. Now, the same way this looks, you can decide that you want to also beautify this one. Simply click on the visual, come to the visual edit segment. My slicers, if you want to change the colors, you can decide that you want to change the colors. If your brand has maybe red, white, yellow, that's your brand color, you can decide to change it here. For instance, let me play within this brand segment. So everything on this vertical column of this color is also within my brand color. So let me represent laptop using this darker purple, and also phone using the second one, then air conditioner using the third one, then TV using the fourth one, and then also washing machine using the fifth one. Now, the most common mistake people make is that visualization is not makeup. It is not clothing. You need to make sure that your colors are also aligned. Because once it's not aligned, it's going to not be visually appealing to people. It's going to not be visually appealing to people. All right, so after this, I can go to my general if I want to make any changes for the title. Remember, title is top items by price. So once I've done it, I'll bolden it so that it can also be glaring there. All right, and I think that is okay for now. All right, if you want to make any other thing very, very revealing, you can come to visual. I want to make those legends to be bold, can decide how you want the text, you want it to be bold, can click on bold and it's now bolded, and so on and so forth. So everything is actually existing for you here. All right, everything the way you want it to look. Data labels, I want data labels to be outside or be inside. I want the values to happen this. I want it to be bold. Once you click on it, it's also going to get bolded out. It's just beautification, depending on your own understanding. When you open your PowerBI, I want you to play around it. Okay, I want to play so shadow. Also, shadow, you can easily be able to. Okay, my shadow is not showing. Okay, my shadow is not showing. So let me see what happened. General, go to my. Okay, my shadow is off. Now it is on. All right, you can clearly see that I've been able to build this for visual. Now let's check what happened from the aspect of state. But are we still following me to this very moment? Are we still following? Even if, I mean, you're not practicing it, you are seeing our dashboard come to life. Are you seeing how I can also be able to do all this thing within a space of 15 minutes? If I'm not teaching this, within 10 minutes, I'll finish building this dashboard. All right? So this is to show you that you also can also be able to do this. And it is very, very simple and straightforward. Kaja said, yes, it's compelling. Fantastic. It's compelling. Now, after you are done with this, remember, I want to also communicate for the state perspective what happened. All right? What happened from the state perspective? So let's show our top 7 states by purchase. Okay, our top 7 states by purchase. Let's also still utilize this vertical aspect. All right, so the same process, once I put this here, I'll just come here, states and purchase. That is what we are looking now. States and purchase. So come to this, your raw data side, and look for states. This is it. Put states in your x-axis. Look for your purchase, which is this aspect, and put on your y-axis. And I can also see that the state aspect has also been out right now. Now, instead of wasting my time, remember, you can easily copy this filter here. Like, you can easily copy what is edited here. Once you click on this visual and click on this format, once you tap on this one again, it's going to replicate every single thing there. All right, the colors have changed and so on and so. So I don't have to be doing those formatting every now and then. So what I want to do now is simply, I want to show just top 7. So once I click on it, I'll also come to this filter card. Here, the same basic filtering, I want to have just my top 7 states showing here by virtue of purchase. So I'll simply carry my purchase here and also drop here and apply filter. So you can see the top 7 states by purchase. What I have to do now is also change the title to now represent top 7 states, top 7 states by purchase. And also I can bold it so they can also be bolder for people. As simple as that, we've created this exact one also. All right. And last one that I want us to add here is just the states that gave us highest money. So even though Plateau purchased 260 times, did we make much money from Plateau? Or is there a state that even though they're buying small, they're buying odd laptops that have the highest value? So what I can do here is also, let me use this horizontal chart. Same way, put it here, carry my state, put here as well, and then carry price and put on the x-axis. So now it's now state and price. First one is state and purchase. Now it's state and price. I'll also click here so that I can also get this format painter here. If I tap on this one and click on format painter and then tap on here, it's now going to change the color to this also. Why not use the map or heat map visuals for the state by purchase? Just a suggestion. Of course, row keep, fantastic. That can also show you what you are looking for. All right, map can actually show you this as well. But remember, I'm trying to show price and also show numbers as well. So even with number of states, I want to also show the price attached. For instance, if I decide to use map here, map is going to give me this. All right, map is going to give me what I'm looking for rather, but it's going to come out in small notes that you cannot easily read. All right, so that's one of the disadvantages of using map sometimes. So I'll always advise you use map when you have a larger space to build it. For instance, if I want to create maybe only 2 visuals here, I can now drag this map to be very big that people can actually see what is actually happening. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say, Rakik, but when you have small spaces to play with, map is not always the best visual to use. Map is very, very visually appealing when it has a larger space to occupy. Okay, so if we had enough time to create multiple visuals, maybe different pages and all, map will be very, very comfortable for this also, because you can now decide, okay, what we just want to have map here, and then also have the other sheets that we have talking about what we are doing. I don't know if that makes sense to you, Rocky. So map communicates better when we have enough space to play with. Okay. All right, so let's move ahead. Right, I have just this small space to play with, so map will not really be the best option for me. So let me use this line chart also to show my top 5. Simply put, let me use the horizontal one. All right, so by purchase, it's also showing me this. All right, it's also showing me this. Now I need to remove some things here so that it can also come out bolder. My y-axis, what do I need? My values, of course, I need my values. But do I need that title there? No, I don't need the title. So I can turn it off and also go to my x-axis and do the same thing. Can come here. Do I need my values? No, I don't need it. Do I need my title? No, I don't need it. So it's clearly showing me what I need. Can come to this filter card now and also make it to be top N. So I can just show me the top 7 states that we have right here by price, and then carry and drop and apply my filter. As simple as that. So right now, we've been able to build this visual from scratch, showing you every single thing that you need. So you also can also be able to play around this and be able to come up with your own visual. Trust me, when you understand this clearly, it is not as hard as it's looking right now. Okay, I need to change this to reflect the name, which is top 7 states by price. So the title is Top 7 States by Price. Top 7 states by price. So clearly, we have a visual that you can use to to stakeholders. So if I'm the data analyst of this Wendy Clothes, and we're having maybe our yearly review, I can now speak from a place of data from what happened last year. So I don't know if all of us, we followed me to this exact point where we have our visual now showing. Did we all get to this point? If you got to this point and you appreciate the beauty of data and how easy all of us can actually get to this point, just drop anything here. Can we send our own dashboard for reviews and correction? If yes, where? Okay, fantastic, Rocky. So what you can do is easily, just create your own dashboard, put it on LinkedIn and tag analysts and also maybe Chukwuemeka, and I'm going to definitely give you a feedback, all right? I always advise people the easiest way to learn is also to put it out there, right? So create your own, post it online on LinkedIn, tag Analytics, tag myself, Chukwuemeka, and I'm going to definitely get to review it also, okay? So please make sure you fill the attendance form. Once you fill the attendance form, you have access to the slide and also to the recorded version of this discussion, okay? Once you go through it, you're going to understand every single thing. And personally, you can now practice it. So if I'm speaking to my stakeholders now, I can speak from, let me look at what happened with respect to Plateau State alone. So you can see that Plateau State alone, Musa Yusuf is from Plateau, Chinedu is from Plateau, and they're amongst our top 7 guys. You can see none of them is amongst the bottom 7. All right? And which item did they buy highest? Iron, phone, charger, laptop, kettle, power bank. So if I have quota of what I'm sending to states, I can say, okay, for Plateau State, please, let's make sure iron and laptop, iron and phone, rather, that we are sending it to that Plateau State because they're the highest people that are buying it from there. Okay? So there are several visuals that we can still bring out from here. We didn't do anything relating to the gender. We didn't do anything relating to just the items alone. There's so many insights that we can bring out from this. So sometimes what I always advise people to do is, you can also utilize AI. Utilize AI and ask AI, this case study, advise me the insights that I'm going to communicate on my visual. ChatGPT can give you that. Just carry the quick case study and put on ChatGPT and say, please provide the insights I need to bring out from this case study. And then you can now start building it out one after the other. As simple as that. If I now want to say, okay, which item did Ekiti State buy highest or Kano State? If I put Kano State bought blender and printer highest. I don't know why Kano is buying print. Because they have a lot of universities. They need to be printing out so many things in their university region. So printer is selling in Kano a lot. You can see that Amaka Yusuf is also one of the people that stays there. So this is very interactive. And once you click on one, it reflects on all of them. For instance, if you click on just Tolu Okolo, you can see that the total revenue we got from Tolu is 2 million naira, right? Tolu alone gave us 2 million, right? Tolu alone gave us 2 million. So it's important for us to also know the value that these guys are bringing to us. If you click on Musa, Musa gave us 2 million also. Very interesting, all right? So even though Tolu bought 153 items and gave us 2 million, Musa bought less, right? Let's look at this. Musa bought 120 and also gave us the same 2 million. Why? Because Musa was buying phone, power bank, kettle, while Tolu was buying mouse pad and phone case. Maybe Tolu sells all those items. So that is why she's buying lesser items but higher quantity. So easily when you speak, you can now know, okay, to Tolu, if you want to run a maybe discount program, we'll target mouse pad towards Tolu. Right? If we want to run discount on phone, we'll target it towards Musa. All right? If we want to also run discount on charger, we'll target it towards Amaka. Because clearly, we now know people that bought the highest number. So you are now fitting your square peg into your square hole instead of doing a random marketing strategy. Okay, let's roll out discounts for everyone. All right? Now you are targeting people that are actually making use of what you are selling. So clearly, you can see how we're able to move from having just numbers to having this visual, right? If you are happy, if you love what you see, just drop something, drop fire, because we are about to round up, okay? Drop fire because we are about to round up right now. So what I always advise people to do is tech skill, data analytics is very important for everyone. Like I said earlier, when I started my career, when I started doing data things, I was just a control officer in the bank. Now, a control officer don't have anything relating to data they were doing, but from there, I moved from being control to join the bank's tech department. So even from your own immediate environment, you can be saying, well, I'm just a salesperson, I'm just a HR, I'm just this. When you get the skill and you are able to apply it to your immediate environment, it can even get you to the point where you want to be. Okay, so always make sure you get the skill, because that is what is going to prepare you towards later aspects. So by Monday, guys, I want to see all your dashboards on LinkedIn. Just create anything you can create, post it on LinkedIn, and tag 10 Analytics and also tag me. And we are definitely going to talk about tag 10 Analytics business, okay? 10 Analytics business, so that we can actually be able to see it easily. All right, so you can see that dashboard is not something that is very tedious. It's not something that is very tedious. It's very simple. You can easily extract your data, transform your data, and then load your data. As simple as that. Now, this is the same program. This is the same thing. This is the same way that we've done a lot of training for different companies. We've done for Fair Money, we've had one for Hairs Holding, we had one for Cowrie, we had one for TGI Group, we had one for Nigerian Breweries, and also Mikano Motors. So in different sectors of the economy, we've actually done training for them. And this is how we also train staff of companies. So if your organization is looking to upskill the staff that exist there, we are your go-to people. And remember, it's not just for data analytics. For any training that you need, we can actually offer it for you. All right, so you can go through it. You can click here to hear the testimonials of people that have actually been able to train. And what we do here is actually unique from what you see outside there. All right, we've been able to build a platform that will help you to thrive easily. Now, the traditional platforms you see, they have maybe a one-time training. You've gone for a training, and that is simply it. There is no support, nothing. What you learned is over. All right, that is what traditional ways give you. And also give maybe generic, irrelevant content. For us, if you're in sales, we are going to teach you using sales data. If you're in risk management, you are going to be taught using risk management data. All right. If you are in control, if you're in operations, any department that you are in, we are going to teach you using that departmental, because it's important for you to learn from a relevant content. All right. Now, the insight that you're going to get is also very progressive. Okay. For people that use the traditional way, come for a training, there's no way for HR to know what's the return on this investment. All right. And it's always theoretical. You can see we had a class here today, and I didn't use anything theoretical. Everything we did and said was simply practical class. And that is the best way to learn. Practical is the best way to learn, because while you're practicalizing it, you're also getting the skills that you need. Okay? And traditional way, there is not going to be accountability. But we've built a platform that is going to counter all these things, and that is the analytics business. Right, so the analytics business, we move in a way that we give you a tailored, specific training. Okay, it's not a one-size-fits-all that we do here. No, that's not what we do. We tailor it to your department. If you're a salesperson, we tailor the product to your sales. If you are a marketer, we tailor it to your own aspect also. And of course, it's not just a theoretical perspective from what you've seen here. It's hands-on training. Okay, fully hands-on practical training. And also, HR can always use our platform, log into our platform, see what's the progress of these guys that we are training. If you are coming as an organization, what's the progress that they currently have? Oh, you've enrolled Musa, you've enrolled HP, you've enrolled Samson. How are they progressing? So as a HR professional, your organization can easily track what people are learning. And of course, there's zero disruption to daily operations. So because we are malleable, if you want it to be hybrid, if you want it to be physical, if you want it to be virtual, we are 100% available to provide all those specific training for you. And of course, we have a global standard. We are certified by the American Council of Training and Development to offer trainings to people, which means once you are done, you also get a certificate that is also globally recognized. What of us fresh graduate or employee course, for people that are also facing Rakik, okay, I'm coming to you, but we have open programs where you can enroll yourself and get all those skills that you need. We've done trainings in the financial service sector, we've done it in FMCG, we've done in oil and gas, we've done in telecom, we've done in logistics, we've done in tech, and of course, in HR and recruitment. So if you fall into any of these sectors of the economy, just know that we can always be here to serve you with what you need. And of course, there is free demonstration if you decide to check out, oh, what are you guys actually doing? Can log into our platform. I'm still going to show us how we can have access to that, okay? And there's a discount that's available for just 5 companies that are going to decide to do a course with us this July. So if a company is looking to train, can always reach out to us and we can offer it for you. And for people that are looking for open programs, in the next 3 weeks, we have a program that is centered around applied data analytics and reporting system. Okay, how do you build this dashboard? Starting with Excel analytics and then moving on to Power BI. How do you automate your data cleaning? And also, how do you integrate your reporting style to flow seamlessly? Okay, so these are things that we are going to be having in the next 3 weeks by July 30th to 1st of August. Okay, and the full price for it is simply 150,000 rather. Okay, so the price is 200,000, but we have a 20% discount. Okay, we have discounts for the first 20 people to actually join. Okay, for the first 20 people to join, they get it at a 150,000 discounted price, where you learn Excel from basics and climb to Power BI. You can see the curriculum showing that you're starting from introduction to Excel. You need to understand how you can actually be able to utilize Excel from grass and then climb up. Also, the same thing for Power BI for beginners. How do you learn Power BI to clean data? Remember, this data set that we utilized today, we did not clean any data. We didn't really do any much cleaning, but there are instances where you will be needed to clean data. Okay, and also, how do you tell a story? Data storytelling is very important for anyone that is looking to be doing anything data related, because if you don't tell a compelling story, your stakeholders are not going to believe you, right? And if you want to also come as a team, you also get a 5% off discount again for group of 3, and also for a group of 4, you also get extra 7.5 discounts available. All right, you can easily go to our website at analyticsbusiness.ca, or you can also visit our open programs that my colleague Treasure is dropping in the chat session to see what we have. Now, do you want to get the skill to be able to speak like this, analyze data like this, tell a compelling story? It means that this next open program is fully made for you. So what are you still waiting for? I always tell people that the best time to actually get into tech is yesterday. The next best time is today. All right, so feel free to contact us at our website, or you can also decide to send an email to treasure@analytics.org or business@analytics.org. For instance, if you go to our website, you can easily also see all these things and request for a live demo. So quickly, let me go to our website, which is this. Once you are here, just come to the main page. We should be here. All right, once you've gone to our website, simply scroll down. You'll see for you to book a demo session. All right, for you to book a demo session. And once you do this, someone from our team is going to be there to have conversation with you immediately. All right, and if you want to contact us, also feel free to contact us, and we are also going to have discussion with you to help you get started. We've done this for a lot of companies, for Kuda, for MTN, for AfriInvest. We've trained their staff, and we've also trained individual to get all these skills. So if you're an organization looking to train your staff, we are your go-to guy. If you're an individual also looking to get the skill, just look at the open programs that we have coming up. Next one is just by the corner, which is July 30th, and you're also going to get the skills that you need. Please, where is your location, Abdullahi? Fantastic question, Abdullahi. So Abdullahi, we are fully registered in Canada, but we operate across regions, all right? We have our staff scattered across the globe, all right? And if there is need for a physical training, trust me, we are going to be there, all right? Location is not a barrier for us, but for this open program, it is fully a virtual training. The same way I was able to walk you through this That is the same way someone will teach you for 2 days and also provide support to you once you are done training. Okay, I don't know if at this point there are other people that have questions. Okay, Edmonton, Canada. All right, we are fully registered and located in Edmonton, Canada. That's why I see our website, voicetech.ca. All right, we are fully registered in Edmonton, Canada. All right, I don't know if there's any other question from anyone that wants is there a certificate after the training? Yes, user. Okay, yes, user. We have certificates that we can provide to you. So quickly, let me also show you this. So once we are done training you, like I said earlier, we are certified by American Council of Training and Development. So you are going to get these certificates that we have right here. All right, 1 second, let me bring out the certificate so they can also see how it looks. All right, so once you are done training, you have access to these certificates right here, showing that you are fully trained personnel. But what I always say to people is this: certificates is just the list of what you are looking for. All right, certificate is the list of what you are looking for. The skill is the most important thing that you need. The skill is the most important thing that you need, because as a data analyst, nobody's asking you, were you trained by Google, were you trained by IBM, were you trained by Analytics? Because what organizations do, what Google, Microsoft, IBM do is they are an organization and they are now offering data trainings. It's not like they are accredited, they are certified to be the only data trainer. All right, so that is the same way you are going to get this certificate once you are done being trained. But the most important thing that you need to know is that it is competence over credential. Your competence is what is going to speak for you and not the credential that you are getting. I hope that answers your question, user. Abdullahi, I met your lecture in Abuja, Nigeria. Fine. Abdullahi, like I said, we are fully remote company. All right, we are fully remote company, but if you need us to come to Abuja to do a training, we are also available for you. All right, we don't have offices scattered across the entire globe. Our head office is in Edmonton, Canada. That is where we are fully registered. But then from there, we offer trainings virtually. But if there is need for you to want us to come in physically to train you, we have our staff in Nigeria, we have our staff in Ghana, we have our staff in UK, we have our staff in Canada. So anywhere you want us to come and train you physically, we are also available to come there and train you. What of us, the new graduates? Taufik, your question is not fresh. I hope the open program is what you can easily key into. Open program, we're going to teach you all that you need for you to get the skill to land the job that you are actually looking for. All right, so we have corporate trainings where corporates come to us for us to train their staff. Okay, then we'll have the open programs where individuals now register to be trained by us also. So anywhere that you want it, we are fully here to offer services to you. I don't know if there's any other question from anyone. Feel free to use the raise hand icon or drop your question in the comment section and I'm going to pick it up from there. Any question from anyone, use the raise hand icon. How much do you charge for someone who wants to learn data and business analysis? Fantastic question, Cynthia. Fantastic question. Now, individually, Analytics handles individual trainings, right? But if you want to learn data analytics, you have to be open to our open programs. That is where you can see us teach all those. And for instance, what we are going to be doing by July is fully a data analytics training. All right, it's fully on applied data analytics, and the price, like you can see it from here, is simply 150,000 naira discounted. And you're going to be getting Excel. You're also going to be learning Power BI. All right, how will I join you virtual or register with you for Excel to Power BI and price? So like my colleague has dropped the link, please drop the link again. So you have the link for open trainings, okay? Once you click on that link or once you get this slide also, please click here to register. Click here to register and click here to view the curriculum, okay? So once you have done this, or you can decide to make a transfer and then click here after payment to also upload it, we are also going to reach out to you, all right? Someone is also asking how, okay, that's how will I join? Serious network challenge, just connected back. Ekikere, please make sure you fill the attendance form so that once we are done, we send the slide to you and also the recorded version of this discussion. Okay, and what is the duration of the course? So this is a 3 days training. All right, it's a 3 days training where you learn Excel, Power BI, and how to tell a story. This is a 3 days training where you can, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., 3 days, you are grinding it out. 9 to 10, 11 to 12, till 3 p.m., you are learning all these things. It's training just Excel and Power BI, no SQL and Python. Of course, Ibrahim, the training is just for Excel and Power BI. There's no how you learn Excel, Power BI, SQL, Python in 3 days, all right? You can still see in subsequent days where we're going to offer maybe a training for data analytics using SQL and Python, all right? Those ones are also going to come up, specific training, SQL, Python for data analysis. But for the virtue of this training, we are going to be offering Excel and Power BI. Okay, I hope I've been able to answer everyone's question. Like I said earlier, the discount is for first 20 people, okay? And the spots are already being taken. I always advise people to try to secure their spots as fast as possible, because once the 20 people are fully taken, the price goes back to the full amount, which is 200,000 naira. Okay, so what are you still waiting for? The best time to get into tech is yesterday. The next best time is today. So on behalf of my founders, my co-founders, and people that made this session very, very, very possible, Treasure and Kainsola, and also Uche Chukwu, I say a very big thank you to each and every one of you for joining us and listening to us speak for the it's a really great thing for you to listen to us. We can't wait to have you in our session come July 30th, or for your company to also reach out to us for us to be able to serve the staff of your company. I wish you all the best, and I'll wait to see you come July 3rd, or to your company reach out to us. Cheers, everyone, and have a wonderful day, wonderful afternoon, or wonderful night rest, depending on where you are joining us from. Cheers, guys, and bye for now.